Okay. Yeah, so it will be sort of like, I guess my second time watching this, if you count last night being the first time.
Wait, I
What?
remember this fight.
Yeah, we
You mean the...
lost.
It's insane.
Bruh, wait.
Do you guys
Am
all
I
have
allowed to
control over this?
refresh? Am I allowed to refresh?
Yeah,
Think so.
not everyone's
Oh
here
my
anyways.
god, dude.
Dude, they're making so many changes to this. Like, I can add comments now to like live replays. I think. Is
Yeah,
this a live replay?
I see it. Yeah, but I usually don't do it in a live replay. Okay, so
Is this
Dark is not
live?
going to be
I
here.
don't think this is live.
It
Dark's
is.
not gonna be here. Jigs isn't
Okay,
normally
maybe I'm
here.
just dumb.
Aves is probably fucking, I don't know,
Asleep?
MIA.
Yikes.
Welcome. It's a DPS VOD review. Why don't we just VOD review one of us? I think
Because
Bruh.
this is where we work on strategy for the team, and we kind of need like days dedicated to that. Like, if you guys have individual VODs you want to look at, then we'll do that. But I think
True.
Monday should be set aside for
It's
the
like,
team.
okay, Toots. You're looking at the profiles.
Yeah.
Toots, why are you looking at Spinbot's profile?
I
Plays
get to look. You don't
4400.
get to look.
Okay. What the fuck is their career profile though? Like, it's
Wait.
so wild.
Every time I click on this, it's not
Wasn't
live.
there?
There's a
Wait,
go
wasn't...
live button for me.
Oh yeah.
This is weird.
Go live beta. You want to create a room? What? No.
Dude, did
I
you
didn't.
link us the...
What?
Did you give us the right link? Or am I just stupid?
I mean, you have access to the VOD, right? I saw you submit a
I...
comment.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was just the VOD. It gives me the option to go live with it, though.
Hold the castle.
Yeah, don't do anything. I'll do that.
Okay.
Dude, I ran into G-Man in comp last night.
Hot. East Coast players.
They're good, right?
East Coast.
Omega lol.
G-Man? G-Man was very good. G-Man was really good in the scrims too.
Yeah, I mean their whole team is really good. I figured,
Yeah.
like a lot of
They
this is
were a
gonna
good team.
be
All right, I'm gonna grab some water real fast, and then I'll be right back.
okay.
Sure.
G-Man and I were like 50-50 in the duels, I
Yeah,
think.
you were. That was a good duel. You know why? Because neither of you died very much. That's how you know it's a good duel, when neither of them die.
Yeah, it's
instantly.
true.
Takes like fucking forever for one of them to die.
For some reason, you guys are peaking.
Nah,
On
I
my
peaked. I peaked when I was in elementary school when I knew how to do math.
same.
I
When I
thought
knew how to do
that's what I
basic
thought what you
math.
said. Wait, that's what I thought you.
I
that's what I thought
guys,
you meant.
I peaked
I was
in
like, what?
elementary. I peaked when I knew how to do fucking
It's
basic
like you
math.
guys are currently peaking. And I'm like,
You don't have to tell me twice, dudes.
Hold on one sec.
do you like the UI changes to Discord?
What?
I'm indifferent.
I
I
don't.
have barely
don't-
noticed.
I don't really. It's weird. It feels like every time a new update comes out for something, it's always a rounding update. Everything just gets rounded. That's what happened to Google Chrome. Everything just got rounded.
Well, the opposite happened to Apple, right? Everything used to be rounded for them, and then they made it more squarish.
The fuck?
This is a really good really good conversation we're having. Good Overwatch, constructive.
What is Ray
I
Lenny's
can't
thing?
watch the live fucking.
Yeah,
VOD.
okay, so let me send you guys another link. So it prompted me to the live room. I thought I could
Where's
just send
Ray
you the
Lenny?
replay.
Where is she?
Thank you.
I didn't think it would be so challenging. To me, it's indistinguishable from the normal one.
This one has lives in the URL, as you can see.
Oh, okay, very different.
Yeah, the other one
Live.
has replays. This one
Yeah.
has lives.
Big brain.
So we're waiting for Aves, right?
I think.
Yeah,
Go
so it's gonna be
gamers.
like the four of us.
I don't have axe.
Bruh.
Oh shit, now I do.
And my girlfriend also wants to make it known that she counts, and she's also joining us on this VOD review.
Ah, I see.
Hey,
Hello,
what's up? We're a bunch of fucking immature
You
17-year-olds.
should listen on your headphones to the stream.
I mean,
You
we
should listen
are
to
a
them
bunch
on
of
the
immature
stream.
Guys,
year-olds.
anyone want a Logitech G203?
Anyone want to laugh
Prodigy
at the number
wired
69?
gaming mouse, optical 6 buttons?
I don't know why. I thought that was so funny.
Oh my god, dude.
I have a childish sense of humor.
Nice.
You don't want to know.
I fucking hate Reddit.
When I explain it, it's not going to be funny. He said, "Does anybody want to laugh at the number 69?"
You know what's funnier than 69?
You know the number 69? Wow,
Cheeto.
good for you.
Okay. Had to confirm. Nice.
Cheeto.
Cheeto.
The fucking video gets me every time.
Why?
I don't know,
You
cause he
can't
just
excuse
doesn't
saying Cheeto.
say anything for so long.
He's
he
so
goes,
confused by it.
Cheeto.
Like,
What are you guys even
Cheeto.
talking about?
Not
That
team-
clip of XQC where he's looking at like a fucking mountain lion or something.
cheetah.
A cheetah.
It's a
Yeah.
cheetah. What?
Okay, whatever. And he literally
Cheeto.
looks at it for so long and just goes, Cheeto. Have you seen that?
No.
Alright, we're finding it.
Thank God that
Cheeto.
Twitch
It's
came around because that
Oh wait,
person
the wrong
like
channel.
How the fuck did you find that so quickly? XQC Cheeto.
I put it in the wrong fucking chat just because it was in there. Whatever, I'll get rid of it as long as T's already clicked on it.
no. Where am I
Team
looking?
notices for some reason. It needs to be a team notice.
Cheeto.
Kind of thing.
Oh shit. Guys, Sideshow's playing Overwatch.
Cheeto.
Cheeto. Waiting on one of our
Cheeto.
players.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Bless you.
Oh God, it's auto playing more XQC stuff. No, thank you.
Autoplay.
I
Now,
absolutely love.
next time I have gold damage on Widowmaker when you're Junkrat, implying we ever run those two at the same time.
We used to. When we didn't know how anything works.
I remember.
I'm just
our
trying to think of the
comps
comps where that
were
makes sense.
whack.
It
Okay.
doesn't make sense in like any comp at all.
It used to be a thing that people would try on Anubis defense. I don't know if they would try it at the
that's
super
true.
high level, but like
Oh, what the fuck?
they would like do Orisa high horse strat with like a widow
Yeah.
and a Junkrat.
Whoa, I can subscribe free with Twitch Prime. Duty. Duty.
yeah.
Guess who's getting the
Dude,
Oh shit!
Hey!
Hey,
I remember
hey,
watching.
Nagabaki coming in big with the prime.
Big.
he?
Do I have any-
Damn.
Do I have any bits? I don't.
Thank you.
I
Remember
used
when-
all my bits on suits. I used
Remember when-
69 of them on
Remember
suits.
we used when Jake
know,
and
you
I
have to laugh at the
literally
number
just
69.
spammed
Oh my
spammed him
God!
with
Just
fucking
kept
bits.
just kept getting like I can't remember what Jake
I
was
had
putting in as voice lines, but it was like he just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over again. I can't remember what it was though.
Seven.
It was just the no, I think it was just the alert. Like
I
it
had
just backlogged for a half
Oh yeah,
hour.
he just like put bits in there. One
It was like
bit
five
at
at
a
a, it was
Yeah.
5 at a time because I have a 5
That's-
minimum for just that reason,
I'm gonna buy bits just to
just
you them
to
one
make
at a
it rain on
time.
me in my chat.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, dude.
Go for it. I think everyone finds it hilarious.
I think it is hilarious.
I think it's
I had-
pretty hilarious too.
I literally had 500 bits because I bought the All Access Pass,
Oh,
and I
right.
literally hardly ever used like Twitch,
Mhm.
honestly. And so I was just like, you know what? I love Toots. We're
Aw,
giving him some bits.
the biddies.
The biddies. I'm giving you the biddies.
Hell yeah,
Wow.
dude.
Dog,
That
I'm at
sounds-
an all-time season low.
Dude,
I'm like 38, 50 or something right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
God damn,
Yikes.
dude.
What did you go? Did you go 2-8?
I went 2-8, and then I
Oh.
got to 39. Like,
I saw that. You won
and
like
then
one
and then
game.
I lost like 3 in a row. After
Oh my
winning with Hardblue against Saya
God.
player, I lost to other random garbage players, and I was like, oh.
Oh my
It's almost
God.
like the outcomes of games are randomly determined by the matchmaking.
Exactly.
It's almost
whack.
like, but regardless of what time you put in, the game just kind of decides whether or not beforehand whether you're gonna lose or not. It's pretty
It's
fun.
crazy.
I love it
It's crazy.
personally. It's
love
why
it.
I still play
Saya player
competitive.
was on Brig in comp, and I was like, what are you doing?
Big sad, dude.
remember. Have you seen
I
that
was
clip?
like, why?
That's someone whose
you
spirit
s-
has been crushed by Owl.
I'm back.
Have you seen that clip
Welcome
of him
back.
where he's literally like in a game, and he just goes, "Hey, Saya
Hop in
player,
when you're
can
ready,
you go
Ace.
Brig?" He goes, "No,
That's it.
no, I'm not going Brig," and then he goes Brig.
That's really depressing.
Let me see if we can find it.
I burned the fuck out of my finger.
Are you okay?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
Suck it up.
Then I guess that's
Damn.
not the fuck out of your finger.
Okay, so you guys are all in. I will
Yes,
start the
sir.
video now. So this was a really good team that we played against. I think, I think they said, someone, I think Chig said 4K, but these guys were easily 4.2, 4.3K. And they
4K,
play like at that or
They play
above that.
really well.
I don't really know like which, but really good, really coordinated. So I think we'll have some
Assistant for what the
clapping
hell,
then
dude?
of the
good
century.
footage here.
He switched the ball. He switched to Anna. Fuck
The thing I'm
It was my idea.
Where is Ray Linney?
too.
Like, not
Yeah, we
in
did.
for
I-
here, but where is she in the?
I don't know.
She doesn't have any roles, so
Yeah, she
where-
just
where-
joined. I
Find
just invited
her!
her.
Tryout.
Is that her?
I
Is
gave
that
her
her tryout?
Yeah, I
Yes.
gave her
Yes.
tryouts.
If
But
it's
focus on the VOD.
tryout,
We'll get her sorted.
Yeah,
She's
Bye.
down for
No.
Thursday.
As long
We've
as we
got
can
that
keep
sorted.
playing
You don't have to
offense, we
worry
don't
about.
have to play
Woo! Yeah.
Does she have a GF? Is she in GF gang?
Is she a
God.
GFK?
Why?
Because Aves needs to know what roles to give. Okay, so actually, I'll wait for the comps to get selected before we.
Okay.
The cat's just chilling on my lap.
fourth graders all. Yeah, I'm a
Gross.
teacher.
Okay.
Oh, you want to play
Ah, wait.
Jin's dog is sick.
Yeah, Jin's dog is sick, so
Oh.
keep Jin and his dog in your prayers and thoughts because or thoughts because his dog seems like a total sweetheart.
Oh.
He's been feeding his dog too many burgers.
Okay.
That'll happen.
Let me call my mom.
You actually.
Okay.
Oh my god. Holy shit,
So
what's up?
we are all right. Let's wait to see what we actually roll out as.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm a teacher's aide. Hello.
As far as Summer dies.
Okay, there we go. Now I know what we're running. I just want to like have the visual up here. Okay.
Yes.
So we can talk about just this compositional matchup first. Because I think, like that's probably the most important thing is that we have an idea of how this composition is supposed to be playing against this one. So what do you guys think about this matchup, first of all?
I think it should work in our favor
I agree. Why? Well, why do you think that though?
because dive beats quad DPS and you can kind of just outlast them.
Right. And so that's like, it's important for us to acknowledge our strengths first because that's going to identify a play style for us. So given that that is the case, then what should we be trying to do as we enter point here?
Play off of hacks and directs.
Well, that is just something, yeah, that we do with our
I guess
DPS.
call a target and then dive it.
Well, yeah, and we are dive comp, so like I think that also is something that we're going to be doing, but both of those things are circumstantial, right? Like that's kind of like you remember how I was saying that like everybody should have an idea of what the composition is trying to do at all times regardless of what you tell them. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like that should be already running in the background for them. But what you should be thinking about here specifically, Aves, and I think, everybody else should also be sort of on the same page here, is what our composition is naturally strong with, and I think you nailed it, I think we have sustain. So what will that allow us to do?
Point control.
Okay, point control, but so you're talking specifically about the point here,
Yeah.
but do you think that that is the most valuable space to take first?
No.
What do you think is?
The high ground right there, overlooking
Right.
point.
And so why? And so okay, so just then we put it all together. So then what allows us to do this, to take this space?
I guess kind of we out heal them, and
Yeah,
we can hold it longer. They have like bigger bodies, I guess.
exactly.
Don't die.
And we have a diva too, right? And
Yeah.
that's like huge. So like we have a diva, we have a Lucio, and all of those things. And so this is what I'm talking about, Abe. So when I'm saying sort of like if we think about the matchup, that should inform the play style here. And once we get a better idea of what the meta looks like for this point, I think that'll give us a better idea of if like we automatically go to first, like or if we automatically take high ground just because we're assuming that we're gonna be having the presence because we have the 2/2/2 and we have the sustain. Um, but that's sort of what I'm talking about. Where like we think about the natural advantage of the composition, and that should inform a play style. And so I think we use the sustain here to take and control this high ground. And I don't think that we were especially effective in that. Partially, I think it was because Pancake was kind of like, you know, somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm a teacher's aide.
But we'll see in a second here.
How dare he be somewhere else?
I got you. That pharmacy. They have a
Okay,
More
so
Pangea cookie cups.
so I don't know where Pancake is at this point. I think he was super late for some reason, and I'm not sure where he's coming from. But Chigs is literally just going to be up here getting fucking chunked.
Big chunk.
So this was a coordination issue on our part. Like Chigs and Pancake needed to be on the same page here. But again, Aves, you can sort of help them with this by, so like whenever we get onto a point, there's going to be like a list of things that you need to do. First one is generally going to be tanks need to know what space to take.
Yeah.
And that's honestly like if you get that figured out, that will get you most of the way because the DPS will just fall into line, right? Like you can be more specific and be like DPS target this person or pressure this person, but a lot of that is going to be based on the ult economy of that particular fight. But the biggest thing is that the tanks know where they need to go and what they need to be doing. And of course, part of that is up to them, but also, you know, like you can sort of like being in the role that you're in, you sort of have the advantage of being able to step back and think, okay, well, what's the best place? Because they'll figure out the way to execute. But for me, I should be thinking, what should our objective be in the first place? And so if our goal is here, then we want to make damn sure our diva is controlling this area.
Might be able to hack the far on the point.
Healing Chig.
But so Chigs gets chunked pretty hard. It's not super bad. He's getting hacked right now. But we can already see that he's on the receiving end of a ton of shit because our diva is MIA.
Chigs.
Mercy's hacked on point.
Yeah, there he is.
Chigs.
Mercy's hacked on point.
What? Why did it just unpause?
Can't see Chig, can't see Chig.
But yeah, okay, so Fanta, you took a bunch of damage to hack the Mercy. That's probably worth.
Yeah, she dies. I think.
Uh,
I don't know.
probably.
I thought.
I mean,
so.
no. But the thing is, just hacking her is valuable. I also think hacking the fair is valuable too because it allows us to control this space more.
I know. That is usually why I like to go to point first as Sombra, because
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
down on point and like hack people that are right next to the high ground going down,
Mm-hmm.
and we can usually jump them.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think just keep doing what you're doing. I think this is fine to be doing it like this. As long as you're able to engage at the same time as the team, then like you're fine. But yeah, I think the big issue is just that our diva was way behind here. And so then Chigs drops. Pancake gets up here, which pushes the soldier off. Aves is up here, which is good. Naga's up here controlling space, that's good. And Dark is in a safe place, that's good. All of these things are good.
Nice.
we drop, which is okay, but I still think Pancake needs to be up here. Because Chigs is not going to be overcommitting to this target. And I think it's fine because the Mercy's hacked here. It's an opportunity. And really, we should just be looking for kind of like soft pressure here. Like we can't, I don't think we can afford to like, I don't think we can afford to allow our defenses to drop to pursue that Mercy. And so I'm sort of thinking about this in terms of like whether or not our Diva goes in with the Winston, because that's like really what it boils down to. I think Fanta, you might want to. I'm trying to think if you should start trying to teleport off to this side over here somewhere. Just so that you're here for like more immediate re-engagement and just damage support, because Farah is still pretty limited in terms of what she can do.
Okay.
I think it may just be something you want to experiment with when you feel like you've got the opportunity to do it. Because I'm just wondering, like, because obviously getting the kill on the Mercy would be super, super, super good. And because it like basically just frees up this Farah and like keeps her from being able to do anything. But we also can't afford to commit our Diva just because of how much damage they have, and it kind of undermines the whole point of why we're running a 2-2-2. Like, we just kind of open up the high ground just to get shit on. And so I'm just wondering then if Sombra is the solution to that, like if reallocating Sombra is potentially a solution to that. I'm not totally sure on that. Just something to think about. Okay, yeah, so Dark floated over here a little too far. When Chigs commits and goes under and Pancake commits and goes under, Dark, I think you need to be dropping under here. And just staying on this side because it's very clear that they've committed to the point here, and we've kind of taken the space on this side, like this side of the line. And so you need to make sure that you're not jumping out into their space. And so that's how Dark gets picked here. We get their Mercy though, so it's an even trade, ostensibly, and we should be favored here because we've got Lucio and we've got Diva. We'll see.
We traded Mercies.
Where's that? Where's that?
I don't know where you guys are at. We get the soldier.
Okay, now we're kind of split here. So we trade Mercies. Pancake and Aves are here because they were trying to help with the Mercy. Aves, I'm guessing you were speeding them to her. Okay, Aves died.
Oh, I said yes, but I'm
Okay, cool. And so then that's fine. And then I think sort of then what we do is we maybe try to wrap around a point like this and just focus somebody hard.
We traded Mercies.
Yeah, Naga's on this high ground, but Polar is zoning him pretty heavily. And so sending Pancake up again to control the high ground. I think sort of setting back up here is another option, like just to kind of like recontest and just control the space even further because, you know, like we want to deny Farah, and if we're up here, Farah literally has to just be hiding either back here or around onto the other side of the point, and then we can just set our Farah up to free cast down onto him.
Mercies.
Where's that? Where's that?
I don't know where you guys are at. We get the soldier.
Sombra half on main.
And we trade Farahs. Yeah, we trade Farahs. And I think actually you guys cap here.
Coming back now.
I'd say overall you guys played this pretty well. It took us a while to win this fight, but you guys played this pretty well.
Tracer act on point.
You know, obviously not
I'm coming
perfect,
main
but
phase, we need heals.
all things considered, I think
Right behind you, Dark.
I know,
the
but I need to
things
get
the things that I'm talking about are things that would allow us to have clear advantage from the beginning, but you guys still managed to trade in a way that allowed us to win. And the fact that we're running this composition is what's allowing us to do this.
them for heals. Alright, watch out for Barrage and Bomb and
Even
Nano.
instead of a
Okay, Barrage and Bomb. Wait, why does Farah have 0 ult charge? Did Farah switch off and then switch back on? Yeah. Switch to Genji.
right behind you, Dark.
Switched
I know,
back.
but I need to get to them for heals. Alright, watch out for
Big dumb.
Barrage and Bomb, and Nano.
I don't know why they
Oh wait,
did
no,
what they did.
Keep high ground, keep high
It's
ground.
weird.
They don't have a hit scan anymore. They're running Fair Tracer and dive.
dive.
So Aves, don't worry about calling that stuff out.
Okay.
Just internalize that because then that should give you some more ideas of what we can do with Farah here. It just means that we now have more space for Farah when we're trying to think of what plays we can make. So again, let's think about this. Ideally, what do we want to be doing here? So we've controlled this space, which is good. But remember, this is like for the sort of mid-fight. What do we want to be doing here, ideally?
Just kind of holding high ground so they can't get to it, and then diving off of it once they kind of push in.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so you're saying wait for them to get on point and then start contesting?
Yeah.
But what about... Do you remember the last time we did a VOD review? And I think we were actually on this side. And we were retaking, and we kept trying to walk through this door. Do you guys remember what was happening every time we tried to do that?
They jumped onto us every time.
Well, that and what else? What DPS did they have?
Didn't they have a Farah?
Yeah, and what was the Pharaoh doing?
Spamming that door?
Yeah, and just shitting on Chigs. I think we should consider doing something similar, especially because of the fact that they dropped Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, guys, I always, when you guys have the opportunity, I want you to make it as costly as possible for them to get to the objective.
Okay.
Nothing should be free for them. Nothing. And so I think that doesn't necessarily mean that the tanks need to be in a different place. Like, you know, maybe we can put Chigs here and keep Pancake here. And then sort of Naga kind of sits here. If they take the wide angle here, then we can potentially loop back around onto the backup point, or Naga can just float over above them there. You know, we send Dark here over to Chigs, and then can support both Chigs and Naga while Naga free casts down on them. And then from there, you know, we tell Pancake where to go. But I think, yeah, we just really want to be spamming them anytime they try to get through a doorway. And I think Naga's doing that. But just sort of setting up and having that be the play that Naga's ready for so that his positioning is as safe as possible is ideal, because then he'll be in place and have all of his cooldowns to escape if he really needs to.
Yeah.
Just still watch for Bomb and Barrage.
We should
Go grab body.
No res, no res.
Mercy one.
Alright, get their own, get their own.
Push up. Where's Ana? Again, what's
hack, left side.
Yeah, and sorry guys, I'm gonna be borderline berating Aves through most of this.
No, that's fine.
Thanks for fucking going to the menu while I dominate their pharmacy.
Nice.
The one time I do something genuinely, barely impressive.
What's the point?
Alright, we're gonna engage with EMP here. So wait for them to come through the choke and then EMP them. And I'm gonna amp speed onto them.
Valk, Barrage, and Bomb are gonna be up here.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
jumping on
Come
us.
on.
Ana's alone main
Gonna
left.
EMP this tank.
Focus on you, focus on
So we pushed in. We got a kill on the Winston. That's good. Let me just see. And so we backed off here. We got the kill here and then backed out. Okay.
Monkey,
Come, heal 6, only 6.
back up.
And so we should be setting right back up again.
Nice.
Go back to high ground.
Take high
Good.
ground.
Good.
They res.
What's the point?
Alright, we're gonna engage with EMP here. So wait for them to come through the choke and then EMP them. And I'm gonna amp speed onto them.
Yeah, that's
Valk,
good.
Barrage, and Bomb are gonna be up here.
That's a good play there.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jumping on.
Oh, this is unfortunate. Okay, so Fanta was not in the central position for the EMP. I'm guessing this is you here, Fanta? Fanta, are you here? Can you guys hear me?
He said BRB and
Oh, okay.
in the VOD chat, so I think he's in the bathroom.
We're
Oh,
just gonna
okay.
engage with
All right,
the
yeah.
MP here,
So
wait for them.
okay, so Fanta like must have TP'd back, right? Because like he is super far out of this fight.
What's the neck? What's the neck? We kill Winston. We kill Winston. We kill Winston. What's the neck? What's the neck?
Healing
What's
chicks.
What's on?
I'm like
Leave monkey. Leave monkey.
I'm straining my eyes to see if I see him jump back to right side.
Nice.
Go back to high ground. Go back to high ground.
Take high ground.
Oh, he was like
Cannot.
over here. Did he die?
Res.
What's
Chicks.
Push up.
Oh,
And
don't.
there is.
Get
Think
the soldier.
so.
We soldier on point. We soldier on point.
Coming back now.
Oh, good.
back on point?
Actually, we gotta kill Tracer on point. Tracer, ball.
I know.
Nice
Barrage and bomb. And
They do.
oh wait, no,
yeah,
no,
keep,
no.
keep
Nice
Barrage. I need to get to them. Stairs. If you need heals, go to stairs. Go to stairs.
right behind
you, Dark.
Ball.
I know, but I need to get to them.
I'm sorry, it was after this
And
fight.
Nano.
Instead of a soldier.
Control high ground to your point.
Oh wait, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
keep high ground. Keep high ground.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Five.
It's this next engagement.
Mercy one. We kill Winston. What's the neck?
Healing
What's
chicks.
on? Leave monkey.
Come,
I
healing
don't
chicks.
think
Healing chicks.
he didn't die.
Back up.
He gets chunked and
Nice.
teleports out, I think.
Go back to high ground. Go back to high
Yeah.
ground.
Take
Yeah.
high ground.
The res.
Yeah, just based on the
Alright,
healing that he
we're gonna
got, I think
engage
he
with the
got
MP here, so wait
He's
for them to come through.
75,
yeah,
so
he's
mini.
And I'm gonna amp speed onto them.
Yeah.
Valk, barrage, and bomb are gonna be up.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons why us having the plan come earlier is helpful because like we can't do this because he's way too far away. He didn't realize it was coming. So what he ends up doing is trying to get over to here and ends up being sort of in a suboptimal place because I think what we really want is him to be, somewhere around here, right? Or in between these two doors.
Yeah.
Be up.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jumping on us. Monkey, monkey.
Anna's alone main.
Yeah, and so now they've been allowed to engage. The EMP is going to come late, and hopefully we don't lose anybody.
Main left.
Be the tank.
Focus monkey on point. Monkey on point.
Okay, we get a good EMP here.
Monkey on point.
Nice.
Healing chicks. Healing chicks. Healing chicks.
Winston
Far
dies.
left. Far top left.
Tracer hack is fine.
Diva desuited, nice.
I can't see him.
And the rest of this fight should be free.
Pulse.
Tracer.
Yeah, that was good.
Tracer.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you. She has bomb. They have Valk
No,
pulse.
she's
Nano's gonna be up. Or she's. Alright. Yeah.
Yeah, she ate it.
So Valk, barrage, and Diva. They have a Sombra, no chaser.
Alright, pop Valk when they engage Shark, and then Pancake. Once you see their Winston jump, throw a bomb onto them.
Alright.
We're
They're
gonna try
gonna
to
get
hold
Nano
high
this
ground
fight
here.
too.
Alright, we're gonna try to hold high ground here, and when they split up because of the bomb, we're gonna dive someone.
One issue with this. And so I think Abe's I think a natural thought here is well, I'm not really sure exactly what's going to be happening, so I'm just going to try and come up with a plan that is flexible enough to work well in a lot of situations. But really what we should be thinking about, and this is sort of what I was telling you last night, is focus on the things that are going to be happening, and that's from their side, right? We know they have nano, we know they have bomb. The first thing you should be thinking about is how they're going to be using them, and then going from there. So how do we think they're going to use it?
I think they're gonna nano their monkey and then engage off of that.
Probably, right? And then send them high ground.
Yeah, send him high ground. And then after Chiggs uses his cooldowns, they're gonna throw a bomb at us.
Okay, and so then what are some of the ways that we can work around that with what we have?
Burn the monkey, or hack him when you can.
Where?
When he jumps high ground, you'll have to just jump him. 'Cause if you bubble him off, he can't really get support from the Ana.
But I mean, if he gets nanoed, chances are he's gonna just be able to kind of sustain himself just because of where we have Fanta, where we have Naga, and then they have a Diva to get there in time. So he'll have the what is it? Is it 250? I can't remember what it was post nerf. Is it 250? Health buff from Nano.
It is. I think it's 50%. It's 50 or 40. Oh no, it's
What?
250. I'm dumb.
250?
dumb.
Okay, yeah.
250.
Yeah, you're
It's
thinking
operator.
damage resistance.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna say N plus damage resistance and then plus matrix. I think chances are they are going to get in on us before we can really get anything done against him, and I think he'll have built up primal by that point, and chances are we'll have lost the fight somewhere else. What else can we do? So like remember, we want proactive plays, not reactive plays. So that's a reactive play, right? We're waiting for him to come up there and then just focusing him down super hard. That should already be default. Like
We
our
could EMP before they nano and then speed in on them.
we don't
and
have
hard
EMP.
Oh, yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Wait. I must not be where you are then.
Okay, let me.
Oh, okay, no, never
Wanna
mind.
try hold
I
high
see,
ground
I'm
here?
Okay, so then maybe this
Okay.
changes what you.
Yeah, no, that's different.
Okay,
That's a lot more ults.
so then yeah, what can we do here?
I'd say probably speed in and then try to position for a barrage before they have
Okay,
the chance to nano.
okay, okay.
So like put tanks at the choke,
Uh-huh.
and then once they push in, Naga can try to go behind them and then barrage.
Yeah, that we can even do some stuff where like we kind of like leave Chigs up here with like you, like where we have like so Chigs, Aves, um, and then maybe Pancake here with Naga and Dark, maybe right around here.
Yeah.
So if they try and jump, or I should be doing this in a different color. If they try to jump, Naga can literally just barrage onto their backline. Because if you're thinking about like something that gives you a bit more option coverage, we're thinking about the tanks going up there, getting value, getting nanoed, etc. Which means that the Diva, to really make the Winston survive, is going to have to go up there and matrix him, which means no matrix on the rest of their team, so free barrage. The only thing we really have to worry about is the Pharah killing Naga out of the barrage, which is why we put Pancake up here close, so that he can kind of like jump up here and hold matrix if he needs to. But yeah, the idea is we just want to barrage them before they can even get onto point, right? And that way the nano becomes irrelevant. And the thing you should also be keeping in mind here is that we don't need to be necessarily saving ults to trade, because what happens if we win this fight on the back of
Then we have
barrage?
no. Oh, if we use that, we still have 3 other ults.
Right, and what else though? Like, who else is gonna, like what else are we gonna have next fight?
What do you mean? Like who's gonna have ults or?
Yeah,
Oh, we might
on
be
our
close
side.
to EMP.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is we just rotate back and forth and back and forth. And it's just like the way that we've been talking through a bunker comp where like, you throw Riptire out to try and win a fight before their ults become relevant. And then at that point, someone else rolls up on another ult that you can then use again. And you're
Yeah.
just cycling back and forth. And that's why proactive play is rewarded in a game like this, because like we are trying to never give them an opportunity to use their stuff, and in winning fights you build ult economy. And so the idea is that you can keep using ults and maintain ult economy as long as you're the first person doing something. And so that's why we emphasize early plans so much when we're trying to figure out sort of how we should be setting up our fight scripting, because it allows us to be proactive. And so Aves, that's sort of what I want you to be keeping in mind, like or principles that you should be sort of keeping in mind when you're trying to make decisions. Like you
Yeah.
always want to be as proactive as possible, and you always want to be thinking about this, like you always want to be narrowing down the kinds of things that are going to be happening. It's like we know they're going to have to try and recontest with an ult here. We know what ults they have, and we know, roughly who they're going to be giving them to. And so that should be giving us a clear idea of how we can play around that. And it's like Nano Monkey, kind of hard to sort of just like deal with by, most of the time using an ult to make their ult irrelevant is going to be the solution. That's like the ideal. The second choice is probably repositioning with spacing, like just trying to like kite it with spacing. But I think that's requires a lot more optimism, and I don't think that it guarantees a good counterplay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think setting up Naga and preparing him for the preemptive barrage is the play here.
And when they split up because of the bomb, we're gonna dive someone.
Alright.
What's in?
What's in hacked on point?
I'm hiding.
I'm
Fucking up.
And so yeah, this is super unlucky. We lose beat.
I'm hiding.
We're gonna dive someone.
Oh, you get caught here.
Winston hacked on point.
I'm hiding. Fucking up.
Did you jump out of the bubble, I think, right?
You
Because
you went around the
Wait,
wall and you
that what
jumped
happened?
up in the ball. I was looking at my VOD last night, and I couldn't see very well how you died. Oh my god, that's really funny.
Hold up, replay it. I want to say.
You literally wall ride around the bomb and you
Winston
jump
hacked on
up.
point.
Oh
and you're
yeah,
an LOS of the bomb.
Yeah.
oh, you were right here.
Yeah.
Second
it's
res.
fucking-
Oh my
Okay.
god.
And so then that's another thing. Like,
I thought I would have lived right there.
if you're worried about
And then it
bomb,
killed me. I'm like, what the fuck?
just stick with Chigs and just like because he's gonna try and bubble you guys first. Like,
Bubbles
It's not
himself
that,
like
I
a
was worried
Chad.
about
Well,
bomb.
actually-
I thought it was fine. It's just it hit me somehow. I'm like, oh.
Chigs actually tends to try to bubble the bomb itself.
Yeah.
So just stand inside
yeah.
the bubble.
Yeah, obviously.
Resing.
I mean, no, but like what that means is like as long as you are watching the trajectory of the bomb, just like look for the bomb.
Right above you, Dark.
I think that's always gonna be the best way of dealing with it.
Primal.
Okay, so we got 2 of theirs, they got 2 of ours. They get to drop nano though, so that's unfortunate. We get Valk out.
And we're rezzing.
Yeah, and we're rezzing our beat, so we should be beating immediately.
We're rezzing our Sombra.
Oh, because Aves died up here. I think
Winston hacked on point.
I'm hiding.
so Dark is over here.
Yeah, and he wall rode on the outside, so his body's on their main choke.
Yeah.
Winston hacked.
I still think we should play for the res on Aves though if we can.
Winston hacked on point.
I can res.
At this point it's probably too late. I don't know. Because there's Sombra's there. So Aves, that's something you should be thinking about when we have a Mercy and you're running from bomb. Think about where you're gonna die because like we can guarantee a res on you if you die in a safe place.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing here. Because if we have beat here, we win. Like no question.
Resing.
Right above you, Dark.
Yeah, Pancake gets fucking melted because we're getting Pancake or we were getting Fanta back up. Okay, this is fucking chaos.
Monkey's primal.
Okay, we're getting a lot of like yeah, at some point we're gonna need to start streamlining our comms because like it's impossible for like Naga here to say that he's looking for a barrage here and that he's gonna barrage. Like there's literally no opportunity. And so then Dark isn't ready to pocket him. And so like we're calling like let's see, what are we calling here?
Resing.
Right above you, Dark.
Alright, last fight.
Monkey's primal.
Okay, so first of all, an early fight plan resolves all of these things, right? Because first of all, we're calling that Monkey as primal. Like we should have already called that in the beginning. You guys should already know that, and it shouldn't need to be reiterated at this point. Also, we should have an idea that we're setting up a barrage play. And that we're going to be using beat defensively. Those are the things that we should be sure of. And so we shouldn't need to be calming any of that, actually. I mean, I think Naga should still be given some more space here to set up a barrage play. But at the same time, we didn't really resolve any of these things in our alt planning or in our fight planning. So I think that's also what makes this difficult, and I think it's sort of contributing to one of the reasons why Naga is always like strained and like has to just rip barrages and just gets fucking deleted every time because there's like we didn't do enough preparation and we also didn't clear enough comm space for him.
Get monkey on point. Monkey on point now. Monkey on point. Monkey.
I don't have res, no res, no
I
res.
think we still take this map though, don't we?
We need to get monkey
Monkey in the back on me,
Monkey on
main.
mercy. Monkey on mercy. On point.
Anything else?
Monkey.
Yes.
We're
This
still-
looks
we're
like we
still
lose this
monkey.
fight, yeah.
Watch your Raj, watch your Raj,
I
watch your Raj.
can't see bomb.
This should be called as a
Careful.
reset here.
Pancake agree here.
I'm gonna EMP
Yeah,
this.
we lose this fight.
Yeah,
Monkey,
my
monkey,
bad.
Try and
I
heal,
remember
Shake, try and heal Shakes.
Just died.
Talk to
Yeah,
me
my
to the
bad.
wind.
Forgot to call my barrage.
Come back, come back, come back.
Yeah.
Right, they have EMP, and... Did they barrage effort or no?
No.
I don't think they did, so watch your barrage. Valk's gonna be up again.
Alright,
They
just
just swapped to Lucio.
drive push.
Yeah, she's
just
still-
We missed that they
try to get
used
EMP barrage
Valk
out,
there.
'cause We don't have anything really for it.
We only have Primal, so...
I can hide.
Coming to you behind, Naga.
Do we call EMP?
Healing
Somber,
checks right now.
Jump top left. 3, 2,
Yep.
1.
Oh,
Help me Winston.
Monkey's half. I'm knocked down.
I'm
Healing Aves.
Monkey.
Healing checks, healing checks, healing
Mercy
checks.
one,
Watch your
Mercy
Raj, watch your Raj, watch your Raj.
Hacked on point. Farrah hacked on point.
I got mercy.
Farrah dead.
Yeah, you guys just popped off here.
I got monkey. Monkey
Diva
dead.
top, Diva top, Diva top.
Give his top half.
Getting
Give his top. Give it half.
Sombra main left side. Watch your EMP, watch your EMP, watch your EMP.
Oh, and you have
I can't take
Okay,
it.
there's EMP.
Oh,
Alright, I
damn.
still have Valk, I still have
That's
Valk.
6-man EMP.
So Aves, did like what I say here make sense? Like because
Yeah.
like we
For
can't
most of that, I was just reading it. And I didn't have time to respond. So
No. I never expect you to respond ever. Like if like I would stop chatting to you if you started responding mid game.
Okay.
So that's perfect. Yeah. And by no means, I'm never expecting you to reply, and you don't even have to always read it. I understand that you're in the middle of a game, so focusing on the game is the most important thing. This is more just like sort of side notes, so that you're getting live feedback because I figure that's helpful. But yeah, like we have to be thinking, and again, it's like it's always going to be the answer is always going to be something where we do something that makes them use ults, and the play should be that. It shouldn't be to try to get ults out of them because like no one really has a like a clear idea of how to be doing that.
Stand there and look pretty.
Yeah. And I mean, like we should be trying to like take routes where our diva can cover barrage pretty well. So like, taking like this space, trying to just take up jump pad. Like I think that's one option if we're really worried about barrage because, like our diva can matrix all of these spaces here in this route. And then from there, we're just trying to set up. And then once you have this space, I think barrage is a lot harder to get value out of. So it's like, I think that's one option. But yeah.
Use Zoc and barrage if you see any.
Nice shot.
Sorry,
Nice job,
I forgot to comment.
Yeah, you guys did a good job
Shared
though.
It's the same comp here.
Oh, got you.
Ooh.
This map was rough for us from what I remember.
I remember EMPs.
Ooh.
We're not the greatest.
I did one barrage where I literally just
Alright, remember, we're gonna try high
I
ground.
lost so much altitude that I literally was just barraging 2 inches away from the ground.
Go around right side.
I hesitated so much. I don't remember why.
They're main.
We just need to
Yeah,
counter
monkey,
the
yeah, monkey, monkey,
Healing
monkey,
checks,
monkey,
healing checks, healing
Protect the
checks,
McCree,
healing checks.
protect the McCree.
Dark, I think you should be keeping an eye on Naga here because he's really the one who's gonna get pressured.
Okay, Diva,
Yeah.
right next to you.
Baby me.
Pancake gets super fucked here. The break comes in, shield bashes him, and their focus fire is insane. So that was a bit of a positioning error on his part because, like, honestly, like, anyone can get bashed literally but him.
Naga gets bashed. Oh, mega lol.
But also, where
Honestly,
was
I
Winston
would.
Bubble here?
Alright, go around right side.
Because I would have liked to see Chigs drop Bubble as soon
I
as
have
they
goods.
came in
Their
here.
main.
So like, yeah, as soon as they come in to engage here, he does. He does. There's 3 of us on this solo Winston. What happens here? So Naga, I want you to be looking to support high ground fight first, because as soon as we secure this space, you are free to do whatever you want.
Okay. I think I was trying to look for an angle inside this room because
Mhm.
I don't know, because I felt like I had more cover if I played back and shot from outside the point.
Right.
Whereas if I went above sort of where the fight was happening to support it, then the Kree could just go outside of point.
But you don't have to. You don't have to be above this. Like you can. I'm literally just asking you to, like, turn to this and
Okay.
stay exactly where you are. That's fine. But the thing that you should be keeping in mind is, like, in terms of these 2 options, we'll call this 1 and 2. Where do you think your damage is going to be most valuable?
Probably 2.
Yeah, because we already have damage here, and so yours on top of it might be the little bit we need, or a lot of bit we need, because you're Farah, to
Yeah.
close out a kill. And here, if you throw damage into here at 1, they have the option of taking cover and healing back up, and you can't go in and pursue that. And so then that becomes kind of wasted momentum for us, like, or wasted pressure. So I think when we have open space we're trying to control and there's cover leading to it, I think you should be focusing on controlling open space for the tanks and just supporting with them with damage.
Protect the McCree.
Yeah, so wow, did we do no damage to their Winston? That was horrible focus fire from us. Even with
Their main.
even with a diva, even without a Farah.
Protect the McCree.
Oh no, you guys burned through his armor, the brig armor. But even still, okay, so then by then the brig is already up here. And but still, like, god damn. That's just a them being a sick team kind of thing. Like, there's no reason they should have won this up top other than just the fact that they outfocused us. And I think they out-mechanicsed us. They did a really good job taking out the one person who had defensive abilities and focusing them down. So that's more just like good on them.
I think I moved brig. No.
And dead.
I got knocked
Healing
down.
shake still. Coming.
Briggs restarting the high ground.
That was crazy
Lucio
though.
loop.
And nice pick on the
McCree
Zen.
right side, careful.
Okay, so let's see how the fight continues here. So Chigs drops down to pressure someone. Diva. I still think the play is to stay high ground here, because regardless of the I think maybe leaping up for Chigs is an option. Like, just to give yourself some space from the brig, but also to buy more time. If they stand here, the more time they stand here, the more time Naga has. And so the idea is just remember, we're trying to get the fight dragged out as long as possible, as long as we can keep Naga safe from their McCree. So keep the fight here, because them dropping means that our Farah gets all of this space then. So don't drop here, even if there's like a diva. Just stay up here, leap up to get space if you need it. Because then it gives our Mercy more options too.
And dead.
But we give up space here. Their McCree gets sort of on the high ground now. Let's see if he does anything with it. No. So Naga's damage is deterring. They drop down to point. Abe's, why are you down here? Because Chigs is there?
I think I fell off. Or something.
I think
I
I
got
moved
moved off.
No.
Oh yeah, I see the Lucio coming.
I think I moved brig. No.
And dead.
I got knocked
Healing.
down.
Okay, so then Chigs I think also then got knocked off of
Crater,
high
crater,
ground
crater,
then,
crater.
Yeah, we
didn't he?
both did.
I think I moved
No,
break.
he jumped.
Zen dead?
I got knocked down.
He
Crater,
jumped,
crater.
yeah.
Zen.
I think I moved break.
No,
Zen
no, no,
dead?
no.
No, he got
booped.
booped.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
he
booped.
got
Okay,
Jump
okay,
back
okay.
up.
Good.
I think I moved break. No.
Zen dead?
I got knocked
Healing.
down.
And you're trying to
I
get
think-
back up, it
I
looks
think-
like?
Yeah, I was trying to. I think the break
Still.
just walks up on me.
Coming.
Oh, but
Got to say,
Never mind.
I believe in you.
but you
Spinning
went
on-
but you go this way. And if you think you're having trouble going up, it's fucking
Yeah, go around back.
resign
I did
yourself
that-
to the
I do that-
stairs.
I know I do that later in the game.
Good.
Starting to high ground.
Lucio boop.
And
Yeah.
you get out here.
Right side, McCree.
Oh no,
be
you don't
careful.
get out here. Deepest
I still
focus.
I just back up heal.
Redirect.
Damn, nice.
Is the Lucio here now?
It's Kinsey,
Yeah.
it's
Anything else?
Kinsey.
There's a break behind us.
And so
And I can
this
pop
is
again.
good. We keep going back to this space, which is good. We're gonna start figuring out better ways to be positioning so that we maintain constant control of this. But the fact that we're sort of always going back up to this high ground is good. I feel like it means that we're sort of getting a better idea of how to be playing this comp here. So, actually, just to speak to what you were talking about, Aves, what do you think about this? Or actually, all of you, what do you guys think about the comp on this map? Because I think this is one position or one place where we could potentially change it. I think we have tried the composition that they're running before here, by the way.
Yeah, we just
Back
got
to
smoked by
McCree?
goats though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a more goats heavy meta, and that's kind of why we're running the comp we're running. And so I think it's perfectly fine to evaluate this comp.
I'm fine with playing great. I'm all
I
for
still
it.
think
No, no,
it's
no. I mean our
fine.
comp.
Yeah.
I think our comp is fine against theirs, honestly.
I think so too. I think we have to play
It's just
carefully.
you have to watch. Yeah, you have to watch for the McCree.
Yeah, it's all about, I think, the Farah versus McCree matchup and which team can enable theirs more. And I think sort of you should maybe think about swaps on that basis. Like,
Yeah.
if their McCree is constantly zoning our Farah and Mercy, then like, you know, we can switch to something like just straight goats or something and just shit on them.
Break direct.
I can't. I'm going for free, going for
Chicks coming to you. Healing chicks, healing chicks. Don't use anything. Just
I can't. I'm going for free, going for
chicks coming to you.
Wait,
healing
what's
chicks,
this? What was that?
Break direct.
I can't.
So they took the point. There's no reason for Chigs to be dropping here.
What's on high ground? Get break.
We literally just want to stay up on high ground until the Farah, like until our Farah builds up barrage or just damages them enough to give us an option. I think so. He sees the brig. He wants to kill the brig. It is not realistic to try and kill a brig as a Winston in a sea of goats.
He can do it.
I see brig. I want to kill brig.
I can't.
Mm-mm.
We dive on
Chicks
the
coming to you.
brig,
Healing chicks,
brother.
healing
We
chicks.
dive on the brig, my brothers. My brothers, we die.
Yeah, so they
They're
baited Chigs super hard. Chigs, be super careful about how you're making those decisions to drop down engage because you realize that this is all that matters here, especially because they've already taken the point. Us being on point serves no purpose other than just to drop down and engage and allow them engage opportunities on us.
Just side. Just get out.
Especially with they're running CC Overwatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're running
Because you're just
flashbang, bash,
Yeah.
and they're running triple support.
He'll be
Hard
fine.
shatter.
He can do
We
it.
have those
I believe
fight
in
too
him.
long. They're gonna have primal and beat Deadeye. That is gonna come up later.
We almost have EMP barrage.
And Valk.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a Zen.
What's in the bubble?
We're gonna play a little bit passively here. We're gonna try to get hacks off, and then wait for if not gonna build ults.
And I think I might
Well,
try and
when he
make this
says that,
VOD
once he
review
gets
an
it,
hour and a half, so we might just do
no,
like
no,
one
no,
other
dive on
map
McCree
because
and
I want it.
push.
I mean, I still think we've done a lot to digest
No
like what's
EMP.
happening.
Gotcha.
I have it.
All
Redirect.
Cree's happening.
Wait.
That way to get-
Okay, so
Okay.
They have
so
a
we're gonna
Zen.
try-
we're retaking.
We're gonna play a little bit passively here. We're gonna try to get hacks off, and then wait for if
Okay, so something you should be thinking about though. So if we're thinking passively, we're looking for hacks. We need to literally be thinking then how do we do that? And then what do they have and what does that tell us about what their playstyle is going to look like? So let's assume that Dark has done a perfect job and these are the ults that we now have in front of us. What should the play be? Or what do we know is going to happen from them?
They're gonna rally.
And do what?
I mean, they're gonna rally the second they see us,
And do what with it though?
and then walk in with
They're
a
gonna rally.
And
Shut
yump.
up. So they're gonna rally to
Allah, teammate!
they're gonna rally to engage. So us playing passively means they're just gonna roll onto us.
Yeah.
Um,
And then, because we're dive, we jump over them.
yeah.
You know what the best plan is here?
Mm.
We all jump off the map. Because then, you know what happens? They
To
jump
engage,
off
they
the
have
map.
to follow us, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And then we
And
yeah,
then they're using ults, and,
and
we don't.
exactly,
they
and we
don't
fed
get
no ult
charge
charge.
off of
Yeah,
it.
perfect.
I don't
Big brain.
know why.
No, but while we're falling, we turn around
Overwatch.
and melee them, right? So we get the ult.
I don't know why Overwatch League hasn't figured this out.
Okay, so they don't really have any good dive targets. That's one of the reasons why this composition is the way it is on this map, because it's so easy to stage dives from this high ground, so that's why we didn't put a Zen in here. And so they are most likely just going to be trying to split people off of high ground and like pressure tanks probably, like, and just get their McCree in. So they're just going to be wheeling the McCree around. So that kind of gives us the initiative. Like, and again, this is just us looking at the matchups here, right? Like, we know that they really don't have a way to deal with us other than just to try and keep our stuff out. Like, that's what their comp is. It's inherently defensive, so we should be playing ours aggressively. I mean, I think we should always be playing whatever comp we have aggressively, but it's especially true here. So we know they're going to rally to engage. So we should be thinking wherever we go in, we need to think that they're going to find the place where we're positionally disadvantaged. So that's probably, if we go in here, like if we take this route, they're probably going to engage right about here. If we take this route, they're probably going to engage here up at this choke or wait for us to get in at the stairway and right about there, right? Literally, those are like the three places that the fight's going to happen. And we should be thinking about it from that perspective. And I'm not saying you guys need to know exactly where. I'm just saying once you have a route picked, you should have some idea of where they're going to engage on us. So the next step, and so this, okay, so this gives us a position. The next step here is, okay, well then, like, what do we do about that, right? Because this is enough for us to start to formulate a plan that actually makes sense. So then what can we do about this? Or instead of position, I should say location.
I think.
Think about what we
Try
have.
and take high ground from
Don't.
them.
But that's skipping too many steps, right? Because I'm telling you that they're going to engage on us in these three. Like, they're going to engage on us early, right? They're not going to just let us take high ground.
Oh, well, no, too. So they're all gonna walk off the point, jump off the map, and then we take high ground. Easy clap.
Think about it step by step, though. The
Alright,
thing
they're
is,
gonna rally in. They're gonna walk to the choke, like right there.
but I want you to start thinking, what do we have?
We have EMP. We have
Mhm.
Primal. And we must have Valk. We must have Barrage, and then we almost have Beat.
Okay, so
You could probably poke at them one or twice, get Barrage, and then EMP Barrage them.
what about just setting our Sombra up somewhere in like near one of these places before we go in, so that they set up, and by the time they
That's
try and
true too.
right, like catch them with an EMP, and by that time their Diva Matrix is going to be down, Naga's going to get Barrage, and he's just going to roll into Barrage.
Yeah.
And so like,
and then the Kree 2 taps them.
yeah, so like we set up EMP on the basis of knowing this location.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like what I mean by using the things that we know are going to happen to inform what we do next, right? Because we're simplifying the world, because it's like you could do an infinite number of things until you start thinking about the ults they have, right? Because that tells you where they're going to engage, and then that kind of gives you a next step. Okay, well then that means the fight is going to happen like early, regardless of where like we're trying to go. But what we can do about it is then start to think, okay, well, how do we allocate our resources here? And so this is where EMP comes in, and then we kind of can start to think, okay, well, what happens after that? But the other thing to keep in mind is that a good plan will always be relatively simple. Like if you feel like your plan has too many step saves, just strip it down into its bare elements. And if you feel like it's too many, like if it's too many steps, the team's not going to be able to follow it, right? Because too many things are going to be happening in the fight that change the plan. And then it's just gonna, it needs to be simple enough to be flexible.
If not gonna build ults, or build ult, and when he said once
I
he
mean,
does
let's
it,
see if they do what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
we're
Boots
gonna
for
hard
sideground,
dive the
by
McCree and then barrage.
He's gonna have it right now.
No EMP. Gotcha.
I have it. Pretty
Oh,
direct.
Cree's half on point.
Mercury one.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, they
nice,
waited
nice,
too.
nice,
They
nice.
okay. So you see what happened? So they waited, and this is what's happening now.
Give it hack. Give it hack. Give it hack.
Can't see chicks,
We
can't see
lose
chicks, can't
the
see
fight.
chicks.
He was one.
Okay.
He was one. Dead.
I'm jumping in. Jumping in.
Coming.
They
I'm
drop.
gonna res. Rising.
I'm here.
I'm so.
I think counter beating as a reaction might have been an option here, Aves.
Naga ready?
Can't see anyone, can't see you guys in there. Can't see you guys in there.
No, we don't need.
I'm dead here. It's fine.
I need help.
I'm not sure what happened to
No, we don't
Pancake
need
here.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Naga ready?
Can't see
He's
anyone,
here
can't see you guys in there, can't see you guys in there.
with
No, we don't
Chigs,
need.
and they just focus him down and desuit him. Yeah, I don't know what that was a questionable decision.
I also didn't know.
Naga
if I was
ready?
gonna keep barrage. So
I
I
think we
thought
could
we
have done
were
it.
going to, and then
I
like,
think we could
I
have
thought
done
we,
it.
I thought we were up.
Yeah.
I thought we could have won without it.
I mean, technically
Yeah.
we were.
But you guys realize, right? If we had set up our Sombra here somewhere to catch them when they dropped, we dropped that EMP, they straight up lose. Like they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because they played way too slow here, and that's why that plan was good, right? It was flexible enough to give us an idea of what we should be doing anyways. Like it's proactive in that sense, right? We set our Sombra up to EMP them when they drop, and like that's something that gives us an idea, like because we know that's going to happen at some point, right? They're going to have to contest them at some point, and it kind of gives us an idea of what we're doing. If they do react and try and initiate early, if they play proactively, but if they play passively, the same thing is going to happen, right? It's just going to be worse for them.
Can't see you guys in there.
No, we don't need.
I'm dead here. It's fine.
I need help. They're on the
Naga, where'd you go?
Naga, you ready?
I'm ready.
No, he's dead. McCree main.
Yeah, we should have just done that the whole way.
Yeah, we split up.
It's my fault.
I mean, part of it is that we kind of sent Chigs into here. Like, so Chigs, I think this is again an issue that, I think this is kind of borderline tunneling because, like, literally, like, it's impractical to expect anyone to be able to support here. I think maybe his thought was to focus people on point, but that should be a play that involves the team. And before we use Primal, that should be the plan.
I'm ready.
No, he's dead. McCree main.
Yeah, we should have just done that the whole way.
It's my fault.
They have no beat.
It's okay. Happens.
Alright. What do they use? Bomb and beat.
And round.
Alright. Okay. So trans Deadeye Primal.
Fanta, can you try to hack their Zen for our brush?
Naga
Yeah.
can
And
see
then-
you. You're too far up.
Chigs, I need you to hard dive the
Wait.
Kree again.
Okay, so this is the last fight. So again, this is so super important. Be able to identify when last fight is happening.
Can I?
Just so
Can
he
I?
doesn't give space.
What's gonna
Should
happen
I?
now?
Their Winston's gonna hard dive into us and then Primal.
Maybe.
We're gonna high noon.
I think. Okay, so if that Winston does it, where is he gonna do it, and what would make that worth his while? Is that the best use of his primal? To go in super
They're
hard?
gonna- I mean, they're gonna do the high noon primal combo.
Okay, so they're setting. Yeah, they set the McCree up. I mean, we can say partially. This is because of just what they're running. Uh, but let me see. I'm just trying to think like, yeah, so we know they're gonna high noon off high ground at some point, right? That's for sure what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know. They might put him in like the back here or here, but they're gonna use high noon at some point. So that's one thing that's gonna happen. I think like I don't know, like high noon is kind of conditionally valuable, so like I think that I don't know if that really gives enough structure to the fight. So Aves, the way that you should be doing this is trying to think through their ults, trying to get an idea of where they're going to be using them, and if that doesn't give you a play style, move to the next ult. Like think about the rest of our ults and the rest of their ults. Okay, so we've sort of dealt with McCree. We know high ground, high noon is probably going to be happening at some point. What else? What do we have?
We have barrage and we have beat and we almost have bomb.
Okay. So then what are some things that, how should we be using our ults here?
Oh my god, Fanta. I think we need to try to get in and then barrage somehow.
How do we do that though? That's the trick. That's always the trick. Like
Yeah.
the call is not to get in barrage, it's giving
How
them
do
a
you
way
get
to
in
get in
barrage?
barrage.
Yeah.
And so how do we do that here?
I'd say maybe like try to force out the monkey.
Okay.
And then
Um,
after
I mean, how does the monkey help with that?
even then that does really help. I'd say try to get Fanta in and then hack the diva.
Okay.
And then you have to try to barrage off of that.
I think
You
the
asked me to
issue,
hack the Zen.
the real issue, I think, and Naga, correct me if I'm wrong here, is getting Naga onto point. I think that's the most difficult thing about our retake here. Did you feel like you could move on and off for free, Naga?
No, I could not get to point. That's why I was playing around that tower so much.
Yeah.
Just because I couldn't move to point really, because we would have a hard time getting space.
Okay.
So there was nothing for me to. There was no window for me to be able to like go in.
Okay. So I think now we're having this conversation now. I think this would have been an extremely valuable conversation to have with Aves in the fight before this or like at this moment because he's not sure where our comp is struggling to engage, and that's definitely one of the places. So that also is like another thing we should be thinking about. Like when we're running Pharah, the question is always, can our Pharah get value here? And if our Pharah can't get value, how can we give her value?
Yeah.
And so if the issue is our Pharah can't get onto point because there's a McCree, then we should be thinking of ways to kind of like at least preoccupy the McCree so that our Pharah can get in and do work.
Yeah.
And so I think there are a number of things that we can do to him just to like hard pressure him. What's okay, actually I thought of a simpler play. So yeah, like so we can
Throw chigs at him.
okay, yeah, so we can throw Winston at McCree, like drop a bubble on him so our Pharah gets
Yeah.
in. What
Throw
needs to
Winston
happen?
McCree, hack diva, and then barrage.
I honestly think we should be barraging before we even hack the Diva. I think we literally just jump in onto the McCree and have Naga like fucking zoom in there with our
I'm
Diva
saying
ready to
as
Matrix.
as we're jumping, we could have Fanta already set up, and then as
Okay.
we are there, hack
Yeah.
the diva.
I think that's fine because I think so. I think first of all that play is conditional. Like it's
Yeah.
not guaranteed that we're gonna get that off, but putting him into a place where he can hack multiple targets is still going to be valuable. And if he can't get the hack on Diva, he'll get the hack on somebody else, or at least be able to deal follow-up damage. So I think that's a good play. I think that's fine. What else can we do?
Engage with beat.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically a free barrage, right?
Yeah.
So like that'll give us time to get set up. We pressure the McCree, and then like we can do that right after Chigs jumps the McCree, and just sort of like for added measure we throw beat on so that they have to invest trance.
Mm-hmm.
And then they probably try and throw High Noon in at the end of beat because that's just naturally a good point to be using High Noon because like we don't have shield, we're probably positioned aggressively and not in a place where we're going to be safe, right? And we're also we've been fighting. So like I don't know, that's like how I usually think about it. So like first off, dive McCree. Actually, set Pharah and Sombra, or set up Sombra. Set Pharah up for barrage. And beat. And then 3, expect Primal, High Noon, and Trance. And honestly, I think the rest is kind of a little too difficult to try and plan out. You know, it's like I think maybe we, you know, try and get a good bomb in, but like honestly, having your diva ready with Matrix is going to be a big part of dealing with High Noon.
Yeah.
But also, she's probably going to be out of Matrix because your Pharah's barraging, so we just have to win the fight before this is relevant. So this is the play then. Set our Sombra up, go for a dive on McCree, and then tell Naga to get ready to position aggressively because you're going to use beat. Like you're going to beat in. And that's it. So again, it's like the call should be simple, but we should be thinking about what's giving us trouble, how we get value out of our stuff, and then how do we engage off the back of that.
Should I hack the diva instead?
Yeah, that works too.
Okay, I'm gonna hack.
Monkeys in window. Monkeys in window.
Diva hack. Diva hack.
Healing pancakes.
You're free, Naga. Direct beat.
No DM.
Okay, you did that. That was good.
I have bomb here.
Yep, and they tranced in response.
Winston hacked on point.
They're Winston in primal.
Zen one.
I'm gonna go Jeremy McCree.
Briggs hack.
Where's Briggs?
I mean, so you guys basically did what we talked about and you won.
Brig up top, jumping off.
Yeah, she's off.
Watch your bomb next fight. And Deadeye.
Bomb did I?
Did they use these trance? These trance. Was that it?
Did they primal or no?
No.
Okay,
I
so
don't
we're
think
gonna
so.
hold on
Primal
here.
trance.
We're gonna wait for their
Or-
Winston to jump us, and then once he does, I think we focus him, and then we go for their squishies.
Tanks, Deadeye, and Beat. By the way, not sure about Rally. It's probably gonna come up later.
If we need to contest Pancake, you're gonna be the one doing it.
Yeah.
Other bomb. They're bombing. Just jump down.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I can
Try to
res
be
chicks.
Can we get the Kree? Can we get the Kree?
Rising. I have Valk.
Naga, if you could stay alive, I'll.
God damn, that deep did that?
Can we get the Kree? Can we get the Kree?
Rising.
Oh,
Chase
Pancake's
bubbled himself in.
well, but Pancake is basically dead here to begin with. Or wait a second.
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Okay, so he's full health here. I think he takes all the damage below though.
Okay, it's okay.
Just
I
try
can
to
res
be all-
chicks.
Yes.
Kree?
Yeah,
Can we
the
get
break hits him.
Rising.
Yeah.
And then Diva finishes him.
I have Valk.
Naga, if you could stay alive, I'll come back with the MP.
I can contest. I'll contest. I'll contest.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Good ball.
Don't forget to call
I'll
targets.
contest. I'm contest.
So what are some options that we had here?
EMP Barrage and Valak.
Well, but before that, we didn't have. I don't think we had any of those.
Oh. I could have played more up on choke instead of just letting them in.
I think yeah. I think that's probably the play here is to put our tanks like closer. And we can always just, you know, they can always use cooldowns just to get back onto
Yeah.
high ground if they really, really need to. But the big issue here is this. Like, we just can't afford to lose a fight here, and so we should be trying to take it up front, because us fighting on point, I think, is just gonna, I don't know, I think it's gonna give them more pressure on us, whereas like we should be trying to build ult economy up here. And then by the time we kite them, then we have ults on the point. Like, because that's usually like what you're worried about when they have like when it's a one fight map, because like you had to use ults to take the fight, and you want to be holding up close to build ult economy before the next fight happens. And the problem is we can't afford to lose the fight at this point. So that's generally why when it's a one fight map in their favor, you need to hold super close.
Not sure about rally. It's probably gonna come up later.
If we need to contest Pancake, you're gonna be the one doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bombing. Just jump down.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Just
I
try
can
to
res
play all-
chicks.
Did Chiggs just like
Can we get
slam
the
his
green? Can we
keyboard?
get the green?
Rising.
Probably.
That's what it sounded like.
I have Valk.
Naga, if you can
I've
stay
heard of
alive,
it.
I'll come back with EMP. Many times.
I can contest, I
Sure.
can contest, I'll contest.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Never hear Naga do it because he
Don't
mutes
forget to call
himself.
targets.
I'm contesting.
Okay. Okay, Naga, ready when you are.
I actually
ready,
don't do
ready,
that
ready.
anymore.
Okay, EMP.
Pretty good about it now.
Nice, 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 nice.
It's puck.
Never
Trying.
taken the time to smack my
Yeah,
desk.
I absolutely
I know you
fucked
Considering
up.
if I think that if I did do it, I'd make a whole, like, I'd snap my desk in half.
I can't.
Coming back at Zoom.
So,
That's over.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
3, 2, 1. Round
Okay.
3. Capture the objective.
Go left side with chicks.
They have Ryan, Zen,
Come here. We have to try to wall them off.
Eva. Let's get that build.
We should win this fight.
Yep.
They don't have Zen for this entire fight.
Then, yeah.
Lucy will get over.
Camping heal, camping heal.
What the fuck? Look at this Zarya. Wait, how the fuck did the Zarya get in the what?
Camping.
what? What are you talking about?
No, like the Zarya's frozen right behind us in like 2 seconds.
Camping heal, camping heal.
Look,
Right here.
no, not only that, but just like wait, just keep playing it. Look at it, she's frozen
What?
behind us,
Ooh.
and I'm fucking inside their team like an idiot.
Did you
Oh
get?
my god. I don't know. I think I was just being stupid.
You got
Wait,
knocked
what?
by the Zarya. Did she right click you?
What?
And you
What?
jumped?
How the fuck did I get over
I think she
there?
right clicked you and you jumped.
I think so.
Camping heal, camping heal.
Boop there. Right? Yeah.
Camping heal, camping heal.
Sorry, was behind us.
She's behind us and frozen. Oh my god. I was just focused on Chig's call.
I was
I was-
focusing on the Ryan as well.
Yeah. So I was completely.
Dude, I remember seeing her. I remember thinking I saw the Zarya.
You
I was
guys.
like, there's no way I just saw
Is that
frozen
a
Zarya, right?
Zarya?
So remember, this is your, like everybody else who's not Chigs. This is your time to point out where their Zarya is and give him that info, because like while he is still calling, like remember you guys are supposed to be like supplementing his the stuff he
Lack of
can't
eyeball.
see. Yeah.
Camping heal, camping heal.
Oh my god. It's funny.
What the fuck?
You gotta admit, it's kind of funny.
Help chicks, help chicks.
Dude, they're so low.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, so Tiggs was calling a
Bruh.
target that was here.
I could not see him. I looked
I
for
was
him, and there was
shooting
a
at the
Zarya in
Zarya.
the corner there.
Then maybe, like it's just the reason I had Chigs calling when he's dead is just because like I don't want to have this complicated contingency table where it's like if so and so's dead, then this person is the caller. If so
I
and so
think
dead,
if someone's, I think if Chig dies, we just all need to pick up the slack. Honestly. Because I get that what happens, but like I don't think it's the most accurate all the time.
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think like if like how the chain of command should work there. I'm actually kind of stumped on
Not
that.
even like a chain. I think just we need to notice it and then react to it.
Well, but someone needs to. The whole point of having Chigs do it is because he has, like, because when everyone is kind of given the same level of authority, then it gives more room for just like non-focused targeting.
That's true.
And like, I'm just trying to make it so that we can have like guaranteed this person is talking, you guys did not focus that target because otherwise it's too difficult to figure out what we
I
should
feel
be
like
doing.
it should be Chigs, Fanta, then I. Because Fanta already pretty much straightens us to those characters anyways.
hmm
And then if Fanta's dead, then I'm the one calling discords.
And if the three of you are dead, then the fight's over.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that
That's
sound good?
basically what I do anytime though.
Yeah.
Whenever Chig dies, I normally am the one that starts calling.
But so then what? So we trade Chigs basically. They're low.
Zenenberg 1.
The Zen gets out for free. The Brig is super low. The Lucio is there. The Diva is
The
there.
Zarya tries to go back in and then almost dies.
Zenenberg 1, get Zen,
and,
get Zen,
Zenberg,
get Zen.
Zen gets out. Lucio's full up there. Diva's half.
Yeah, so what we did was switch targets onto the Diva, who had the most HP to work with, rather than.
I was still shooting the Zarya, I think. Can't really tell.
You
from
look
that
like you're
frame.
aimed over here.
No, because if you look at the direction his hand's pointing, it's towards the Zarya.
You're right,
Yeah.
you're right. You're shooting the Zarya. I still think that like the Brig is a better target.
Yeah. It's Fanta and Pancake were already on the Zarya.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just at this point it's about getting
Yeah.
kills
Get Brig,
quickly.
And even then, the Brig is just 1 health the whole time.
Yeah,
Does the Brig actually die?
get Brig,
Zarya,
get Brig.
Zarya.
Yeah. Okay.
she does. Okay. But the real issue is now our Rhine is down and their Rhine is not down, so they just should kind of win this fight.
Yeah, they just walk in.
Because they backed off, healed back up, traded their Brig for that. And their Diva is still kind of safe.
Brig, Brig, Brig.
Zenenberg 1, get Zen, get Zen, get
Zenberg,
Zen.
Zen.
Get Brig, please get Brig.
Zarya,
Zarya,
Zarya.
Zarya.
Brig, Brig, Brig.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think you misused Bash there, Naga, but I didn't realize you were basically dead.
Where? Oh, yes.
Brig.
Me die.
Diva's in, 1.
Okay, go on, we're walking up on our
Yeah.
Oh, I choked
Walk
her.
up, walk up,
Run, Discord, run, Discord.
run.
Camping.
Oh, I choked
Walk
her.
up, walk up,
Run, Discord, run, Discord.
run.
Ow! Ow! Stop it.
I'm trying to keep a track of what Naga's looking at here.
Oh, I choked
Walk
her.
up, walk up,
Run, Discord, run, Discord.
Well, one, my monitor.
Mm.
2, my right click or my left click.
3
Three.
Overwatch.
The Reinhardt. And 4, literally nothing else because I'm playing Brig.
You should be looking for opportunities like this.
Goats. Lol. Yeah. Cornering someone.
These guys are out of position, and if you can keep them in place for just a second, that's the difference between them being able to get back and us closing in on them and just suffocating them immediately.
Mm.
So as Brig, I think you should be hunting for opportunities here like that. Like you're just looking for someone who's even slightly out of position. And this is one of the reasons why I want you pacing fights, because when you're doing that, you know who's gonna be the target.
Amping heal, amping heal.
Break one, break all the Zen,
Amping heal, amping heal.
back,
Heal, heal, heal. Help Chicks, help Chicks.
Zenenberg one, get Zen.
Zen.
Get break, get break.
Heal, heal, heal.
Break that. Divas in, one.
Okay, go on, we're walking up,
Amping heal, amping heal, amping heal.
I'm walking back. We have to play more aggressive than that.
Just die.
Pancake, switch Diva.
Watch your shatter.
I think we need to hard engage if we get a wall like that.
Yeah.
Should have, but it's okay.
The supports for one. It's fine. Zen right side. Go left side.
Okay. What are they gonna have, Dirk?
Shatter.
Shatter.
Okay. Alright, Riley, when you get it, Nanka,
Amping heal.
we can try to go for a shatter.
No DM.
Ryan Discord in.
Shield, any help.
Here, transing.
Against you, Chicks. Against you.
They're counter transing.
Nice.
Zen good.
Sorry.
I got pushed back, I can't see anything.
No DM.
Amping heal.
Can we kite this?
I'm saving beat, I'm saving beat.
Grab wall.
He's beaten, Riley.
Okay, let's go.
No, I think.
Sorry.
I got pushed back. Shield, any.
No DM.
So our goal should always be to push through chokes as quickly as possible, because when we're the ones who have to funnel in, we're at a disadvantage. Let's see here. So yeah, first things first, I'd like us to just literally just go in on somebody. Like just go straight in.
DM.
Shield.
Ryan Discord in.
I don't know how impactful that shield bash is there. Just because he's already used Shatter. And remember, you want to be using shield bash to shut down an ability or to lock someone in place. And he's not going anywhere.
Okay.
And so it's like, it's like the Rhine went into Shatter and he kind of whiffed. So it's like you should be thinking like, well, what, like what's going to keep us from melting him? It's like, is it a Diva Matrix? Maybe I shield bash the Diva.
Mm-hmm.
Discord in.
Shield, any help.
Here, transing.
Against you, Chicks. Against you.
They're counter transing.
Nice.
Zen good.
Sorry.
I got pushed back.
Their Rhine is like, where did their Rhine go?
Against you, Chicks. Against you.
They're counter transing.
He got knocked down below?
Here, transing.
Yeah, actually, that was fucking crazy. He's on low ground.
What happened?
Their Rhine got knocked down to low ground. I think Dark actually did that.
Ryan Discord in.
Dark did that. Dark fucking dropped it.
All because of the bash, though. That.
Haha.
Haha.
But Chigs
Yeah,
is
we're just-
also out of the fight.
Against you, Chicks. Against you.
They're counter transing.
So again, this is sort of like, if Chigs knows we're going to use trance to back him up, then he doesn't back off there, and we straight up fuck them super hard. Like, telling our main tanks when we're going to be using support ults and telling them how we're going to be using them is going to be super valuable here. Like, I'm going to trance us in, play aggressively, try and find a good shatter. That's kind of what we want to be doing. Like, we can still call plays on goats, and like the most important thing is just Chigs knowing what resources we're going to have so that he knows how much he can commit. That's like always what we're going to be wanting to do on goats, is just basically tell Chigs how hard he can push. If there's something that you have that can help Chigs push harder, that needs to be called and put into the fight plan. Because someone's got to use their ults first, right? And so we need to know when we're using our stuff if they decide not to use anything.
Transing.
So we put their Zarya down. The Lucio's
He's
out of
not a
position. Both of these guys. Honestly, if we commit to any of these three groups, we should be able to win this fight. We should also be dropping rally here so that we can get in deeper. And I don't think that's a call that we can leave to Aves. Naga, I think this is sort of like where your role as being a fight pacer comes into play.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you see a place where we can push in and get value, like, go ahead. Like, just drop rally and just, like, push us in. If you think, and I mean, I think it's just going to be on Ghost where we, start thinking about plays like this.
Okay.
Let's see.
I got push back, I can't see anything.
Amping heal.
We kite this, we kite this.
I'm saving beat, I'm saving beat.
He's beating early.
Okay, let's go.
He's beating early.
Dark, did you see how fast Dark died there?
Heal.
We kite this, we kite
I'm
this.
saving beat, I'm saving beat.
He's beating early.
Okay, let's go.
They're a really good team.
They use shatter.
They use Shatter Grab Bomb.
They use both offensive ults too.
They only have Rally. I don't think they used it, but they probably did. Their
Alright, we
Shatter's
can
gonna
rally
be at
in
least
and then
halfway.
grab them.
Ow!
Let's go. Go left side again.
Sorry, no self.
We ready? I'm
Rick
rallying
discorded.
in. 3, 2, 1.
Amping heal.
Nice.
Grabbing.
Ryan is ported.
Push in, push in, push in. Find someone.
Almost a bomb.
Run, no. Find someone, find someone, find someone. No.
Alright, Zarno predicted.
Guys, if we waited to choke and keep just standing there, we're gonna take too much poke and not be able to engage on the Rhine. So we need to just
Yeah.
see our fight win, and we need to push on it. We had that
Grab
Rhine
bomb.
grabbed, and we could have done a lot of damage to him if we moved around point.
Someone needs to touch. Can you touch?
I'm going around right side.
No, I just got booped out.
Phantom, go. I'll do my best to help you get to point.
The dark's on.
I have bomb if I can get back.
Fuck up. Help me, I'm over here,
hell.
I'm over here.
I'm on ball.
No.
Hey, chance if you need to.
We didn't engage on the Grav.
Yeah, my bad.
It's not your fault. I think it's more of a team effort.
All right, I've said
Alright,
this
fine, so-
several times. If we do not go in with a plan, we are literally. Okay. Let's maybe look at part of another map and then we'll call it for tonight.
Brain.
Kick you from the
So let's
team.
maybe look at first point here.
Of what? Oh, this map.
This map that we're looking at.
Sorry, it didn't load. I was like, geez.
Essence stopped playing Overwatch. I messaged him. Essence stopped
Sure
playing
for
Overwatch.
Genji. That's what I'm
Oh, God,
saying.
Oh, I got someone asking about a tryout.
Poggers.
Oh, Poggers,
Poggers.
dude.
Swap them in now. Question.
Abe, can I go Genji?
Yeah, fucking summer.
Sure
Bye, pancake.
Hey,
Okay.
you southern, right?
You heard it here.
Alright, it's what again.
What?
Abe said sure to me playing Genji.
Yeah, I got Genji. You could play Genji in Diamonds.
I'm confident that Naga
Oh,
and Fanta could
punch.
While we have
play
this
off roles.
opportunity.
like at least a master's level. At least a master's level.
Well, I mean, I know I can, but like,
I mean, I've never
Wait.
seen your Genji. Like, I'm just giving you the benefit
Yeah,
of the
dude.
doubt that you have a master's level Genji.
Dudes.
What?
does?
about that.
Yeah.
He's
You
kind
don't
of
want to see his Genji. His
I
Genji's
have a
worse than
master's
mine.
level Genji.
Dude, his Genji's
Yeah.
worse than mine.
Okay.
Hey, no, it's not. It's not
Yes,
that bad.
it is.
Sensitivity
It is
too
that
low?
bad.
Does he? Are you stuck in?
My sensitivity is the same across every hero.
Well,
Genji's my,
that's
Genji's my
the
second most
point.
played hero, by the way.
Ooh, yeah. Is it still your most played?
Yeah, I used to be a Genji main.
Oh my gosh.
I used to one-trick Genji.
You never picked up their Zenyatta then, huh? Your Genji
I picked up.
sucks.
I stopped playing Overwatch for like 2 months because I got super burnt out at Genji, and I'm like, I'm gonna play something else. And I played Zenyatta. I'm like, I'm a flex support player now. My God, Cat, why you have to be such an asshole?
Okay, so Pancake just gets absolutely fucked because he overcommits here,
Yep.
and he and Chigs are not on the same page. So we lose this push. We have to reset.
I did.
Thank
Where's
you.
Widow? Widow blue box?
What are they running?
Yeah, Widow
Yeah.
Blue.
Dive.
Yeah,
Widow Blue
Widow
Box?
It's
DG,
okay, I think same
They
comp.
somehow let Pancake build his whole fucking mech back.
They're running on
Yeah,
Lucio.
Widow
What
Genji.
nice
Just-
individuals.
Okay.
So
We need to try to
big.
control
They have an
high
Ana
ground.
instead of a
Falcon
Mercy,
box
right?
on them.
Beefy headshot on their diva.
Lucio.
Widow Genji.
Oh.
Okay.
So
We need to try to
big.
control
They have
high
an
ground.
Ana instead of a
Falcon
Mercy,
box
right?
on them.
Actually,
Yeah.
chunky.
So you called Diva 1, didn't you?
Ugh, I'm freed.
So
We need to
big.
try to control
They have
high
an
ground.
Ana instead of a
Falcon
Mercy,
box
right?
on them.
You
Yeah,
won?
yeah.
Yeah, oh no, Chigs called it because he had done damage to Nocturnal, so he saw the damage go in. So that was good. That was good
Yeah.
on his part. But I mean, still, there's absolutely no way he can commit. He doesn't, like, did Diva just get mech back?
Okay.
So
We need to
big.
try to control
They have
high
an
ground.
Ana instead of a
Falcon
Mercy,
box
right?
on them.
You
Yeah,
won?
yeah.
Okay, no, he's there.
Widow,
found
Let's fix
Give me
something.
1 second. I got picked up. Back up.
Hey, Widow bottom. She's jumping top left.
Jump back up. I'm
Widow
close to
blue box.
missing
I'm guessing, Fanta, you had trouble dealing damage there?
Yeah, I didn't position differently because I didn't know where the Widow was. If I knew where she was, I probably would have moved. But not
Okay.
knowing where she is scary.
And so when you position there, you have line of sight on just this, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're protecting from her being here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she can be there, and I still get an angle on her, but she can't see me very fast.
And you
so I
can
can't
disengage faster. She has to literally drop
Yes.
off high ground, so it's better for you. I get that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And if I hear that she's not there, I could like go to the satellite.
Yeah.
dome, satellite,
Yeah.
whatever the hell.
Because, yeah, well, and Satellite, once you guys get it around the corner, Satellite is strictly better than Bridge, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure
Widow
I
blue box,
understand
It's kinda
this.
whack
Widow blue
to
box,
stand
left
there.
side of blue box.
When
I wanna
I
discard
their
Right.
widows existing.
Okay, so we pushed them back. You guys did a good job in doing that because it's not always easy. So here, honestly, they literally can't stand there, right? Like, so now we can just pressure them down with our Widow as long as we're there. Like, we can't just wait and leave them there. We need to still be up there with Winston poking, like, so standing right here. C for Chigs. Like, right up against that wall. I think he should still be in Tesla range. Maybe not quite, but at least threatening it. I mean, he can still climb up on that thing and should then be in Tesla range. And then if Pancake is still there poking, Naga is poking, we should be getting ults before them, which should give us a win condition.
They're jumping me under. Okay.
Chigs... Oh, okay, I was gonna say, Chigs jumps up and they all drop, but that's not what happened. They knew that our Zen was down there, and...
Promptly assassinated him.
Yeah, and so if they had done that, I think they could have done that even sooner, quite honestly. Yeah, so they could have done that right here. Because, like, Pancake is nowhere near, and Aves is here, which is basically dead. Like I think if they had seen, I think they were trying to scout out who was there, and they were gonna jump as soon as they found out that it was just our Zen. I'm just trying to think then. Is there a way to keep Zen alive?
I think what I need to do is I need to push cart to like that halfway point and then just double back.
And we take the fight. Yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to take the fight, not the
Instead of just staying down there and dying.
not the payload, yeah. We need to absolutely take the fight. I mean, because ideally we should be taking a fight as the payload's getting to here so that our Zen can support and we can actually try and make something happen before we're under. Because by that, yeah, and like I think even literally like maybe not even the halfway point if you don't feel like if you feel like they've got the range to get to you, like maybe
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
put it
yeah.
under and then go up here. I don't know. If Jin takes a look at this, he might have some more thoughts too, because this is a map that like I worked on with the other coach of Limit Break, and we were trying to like figure out stuff that worked and stuff that didn't work. And like divas always have a better sense of like where the pressure is actually coming from. So I think he might have some good advice here, and if I get a chance
Where's
to
the
talk to him.
legendary? Where's legendary Jin Diva?
He honestly might be at the hospital with his dog.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that, but I'm like the legendary Jin Diva play.
Oh, yeah. Well, Aves will get to see it because I'm gonna find the VODs of footmob
The
shot
foot
calling.
mob VODs, yeah.
I'm still trying to find the right ones. I'm like I've found the territory in the YouTube playlist. I just need to find the right VODs because I still want good examples and like of course, he's human and he's not perfect, so.
What do you mean a foot mob?
Alright,
They're
they're
jumping
jumping
under,
under,
they're jumping under.
I mean, I love footmob, like and I think that his shot calling style was like
I don't understand how
incredible.
he's at the rank he is, or his SR is like 36 or 7. Like,
he was like
so good.
he was diamond, right? When he
Yeah.
started on Limit Break.
Dude,
like-
he's just so good though.
Yeah, you mean like game sense wise or?
Yeah.
Of course. But I mean that take the coach of like Vancouver Titans. Like, do you think that guy's bad game sense? But do you also think that he's putting in the time that you need? Like, you just need to literally put hours into Overwatch because of how much randomness is in matchmaking. So it's like for the law of large numbers to kick in, you need to play so many fucking hours. And it's just an issue of that when you find someone who's not at their right SR. It's just that they don't have they're not devoting the amount of time. But I think probably at this point after he left Syndicate, I think he decided he just like wasn't really going to be a player anymore. And so like that's kind of like me. Like I haven't played in a few weeks.
Winston
out.
But
Winston,
you know,
like at the end of the season.
you can exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, true. That I'm sorry. It was more like 1 week, right? But and then you get an easy 4.2k, super easy clip. Like
better than me already. You don't even play the game.
Because I risk nothing.
I know.
So I think the issue is here that there's literally no way to keep our Zenyatta alive. The only thing we can hope to do once Aves gets jumped is to get the res after we've sort of established this. So I'm wondering if we can sort of think about this like chess, where we sacrificed one of our pieces for a positional advantage. That should be enough, actually, because the space they gave up was worth, I think, more than Zen is. They dropped Nano, though. Wait, they have... Okay, wow. We took so long to make this fight happen that literally everybody built ults up.
That 12 ult.
Yeah. 12 people built up ults in the time that it took us to take the first engagement. Remember,
that's impressive.
The way that we control ult economy is by taking a fight aggressively and winning it. So the longer we wait, the more of that advantage we're giving up to the enemy team. I know obviously they have the same opportunity, but we should be always taking initiative when it comes to almost everything.
Reset,
Oh,
reset.
I didn't get Genji.
Aves, give me a fucking plan.
I'm trying to. I mean, I said we need to go to get in and then jump the Ana, take the high ground.
They're down one
Like-
right now. They have no res.
And they missed
So they don't have beat. We have Valk.
speed.
wait
We
to
win this
beat.
easy, right? I think we do.
They don't have anything. They don't have anything right now.
We've
Just
outplayed
everything.
in.
I don't
Outplayed
think
in.
Whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready, Naga.
Everyone's here.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
Are you here?
And by the way, Valk Blade in
Ready?
is absolutely enough of a play when it comes to something like this, right? Like, very clear plan. Like, the only thing maybe that you would want to do is maybe tell the tanks to set up there, but they're already setting up there, so you're good. And that's enough, right? Like, we know they have nothing, so we don't need to react to what they have. We know that Genji Blade is just going to be super good here. Naga's just going to follow the, where the resets send him, and our Mercy's going to go in to support him so that there's a good backup. And it's like a call that simple works here, but I think it's important to evaluate a play like this too, Aves, because I think that should also give you a sense, because like you should be able to apply the same lens that we've been using to look at the more complicated fights, and that should still apply to the simpler ones. And I think that will also give you a better idea of like why that worked well, like why a call worked well.
3, 2, 1.
Alright.
Okay, one second, one second.
Genji escorted.
Monkey, monkey.
Genji, no deflect.
Alright, I'm jumping on Kurt.
With a back left. Diva behind main.
That was just like really
hold
good
the doors
follow up
with
from
me.
the team too.
No DM, no DM.
Except this.
Widow's back close spawn door.
What else do they have there?
As far
So who goes? Does Chicks go up here?
Yes.
I think he does. That Chigs,
He
come
goes-
on.
Two people up there. There's two people up there. That,
I
So
don't
he must have been on
know.
shuttle or like near shuttle.
No, he was
yeah, it's
like,
him and Dark
near
up
the
there.
mini.
We're having fun.
inside.
Shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look quite high enough to be shuttle, but like, this is bad. This is really bad.
This
We
is
sh-
bad.
when we're down here, don't like. I know that ground might be safer, but literally just either A, primal and try and make something happen. B, get out, or C, die. This is not what we want. Because it's just gonna give them opportunities to split with you, and it's gonna force our team into a disadvantageous position. And if they take a fight there, they're probably gonna win it, and they're probably gonna contest, and we're not gonna win the push. Whereas I think honestly, I don't think we can afford to lose you. So I think you primal, try and either make something happen, and as soon as it becomes clear that that's not happening, jump the fuck out. And by that I mean one of these doors here, ideally. I think the right doors are going to be your best bet. I think high left ground is sometimes an option too if they're still in the spawn door, because none of them should have LOS on you at first. So these three doors I think are the safest in terms of LOS and disengagement. So remember to prioritize these.
As far as I know, nothing right now. The thing that they're gonna be closest to is Blade.
Do we
and
get
then
held here? No, we
Alright.
don't.
Hold the doors and
Yeah,
make sure they
we
can't
do.
No,
contest.
Well, we do. I
No,
think we do
don't.
this
It gets
push.
close.
We do this
We
push.
get help.
Yeah.
Because we.
Because we're fight. Because look, half of our team is fighting on that side.
You guys are in
Body
CT.
blocking, body blocking.
I'm in the middle.
Watch your primal. Watch your
They're
primal.
on, they're on, they're on, they're on.
I can't see anything.
Trying to help Chicks over
Help
there.
us. Alright, help her.
We still got enough of them because you guys are like mechanically good enough to get kills still.
Help me with on point. I mean,
Come.
Just die. Just die. Just die.
Get D1 mech.
Just die.
We get D1 mech. We get D1 mech here.
I got Diva. I got Diva.
Dude, get out, get out. Okay, nice.
Come up later.
We need to take the top left boxes and then try to get a
No,
dive
I
on
think
the
we
Ana.
get held. We get held here. Their Diva's still out of mag.
Lucio's top
I'm gonna
left.
jump top left.
I have Blade. I have
Two.
Blade here. Yeah, we
Alright,
get
I
full
almost have
held.
I almost have Valk.
Lucio up here.
But I can
Lucio up.
pocket.
Winston up here now.
Healing check.
So we are worried about. Well, Abe's, what are we worried about here?
Me continuing to have one element.
Nano Blade.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Fanta, I think their Widow got similarly little value. Like, you two drawing even, I think is
But that means I do nothing.
But if she's doing nothing, then
And we're both just not there.
Yeah. But the thing is that when they fall back, you ultimately will have the positional advantage. And so the point at which you get value is gonna start before hers. Because her value happens at the start of the second point when you guys have to funnel through the chokes.
I hate attacking second point.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But widows also fucking hate defending in here, right?
Yeah.
Like fighting out of here on defense is super shitty, and so that's why still having a widow here is valuable, because like you get value before she does. Worst case scenario, we put you on Sombra or Tracer or something.
Not Ashe? I'm kidding.
Why?
Ashe is
Yeah. Like if Ashe, if Widow is bad, Ashe is fucking terrible here. Ashe is even fucking worse than Widow, like by a lot.
Wait, what's the plan? What's the plan?
Dragging him out of
zone
of the drag.
Widow top left, top right.
Wait, I have Valk,
Can we Valk blade?
I'm gonna bomb door here.
Oh, right. So you called control boxes, and if we see like Chigs jumps up here, and that's actually kind of a big deal, right? Because now he's in a position where he sees what's going on, and there might be really good targets that aren't in a position that he can drop in. Furthermore, if he does drop, he can't get back up immediately. So the point is that you climb up here, drop down onto something, and if you need to, jump back to get out. Jump, drop. So Chigs, make sure you're when you have not committed to a dive, that you're always trying to walk to your target. I think.
But I can pocket.
Yeah, he will have his jump back at this point.
What's the plan?
But really, this should have been happening super fast anyways, so it's like really what we want to be doing is having him walk up to a point where if he did burn that jump, he wouldn't be able to disengage. Like, we want the engagement to happen that soon, I think.
Widow top left, top right.
Wait, I have Valk,
Can we Valk blade?
I'm gonna bomb door here.
Go for it.
Great bubble. Okay, nice.
Any checks.
He was one.
Sorry, I missed this whole fucking fight.
On his Discord. Get the Ana.
I got monkey. Never mind, I didn't get monkey.
If you look at what I do with my mouth.
Okay, almost a Valk.
End of that fight, that's hilarious.
Pocket.
Oh, and the Genji solo blades me. Gets to me freak the fuck out.
Yeah, so they're nano blading here. We took so long that their Ana built up nano, and
oh, don't worry, they don't nano.
Then they could wipe us.
No,
well, but that's what they should be doing.
Chigs or not? Toots.
Widow
top left, top right. Slash whisper, and then put their name.
But does that do that? So it assumes it's a person on your friends list?
Yep.
Okay.
Slash whisper, and then just put CH.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. I understand.
It autofills. Smile.
Toots it autofills.
Oh, okay. So Dark had some shaky positioning here, so we didn't get Valk.
And then I got shot, and then I bladed, and then I died.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
you're here getting, that's the is that nanoed baby diva?
That's a nanoed baby diva shooting me.
And yeah, that's okay. I was gonna say, and yeah, she's shooting you.
Yes, and I'm dead.
I remember her.
Actually, I think you might get shot by the Widow too here.
I got shot by the Widow at first, and then I went to half. So just kind of
look at me grapple up to blue boxes here.
I just got punched. I should have just backed off.
But we should have. Let's see if we called trance here, because we absolutely should have assisted Blade with our trance.
Yeah.
He just has a bunch of arms coming out of his arm.
On his Discord. Get the Ana.
I got monkey.
Yeah, that was. Let's see. How.
Discord it on it, Discord it. Get Leona, get Leona.
I'll get on.
I would have been. I think if I'm UAs at least, I am spamming my Q at 99%. Because it's absolutely last fight.
Yeah.
And I still think Naga dies here. Like I don't think we win this fight actually. But I think what we might have wanted to do was hold a little bit longer to get trance. That's the only thing I can think of here. In addition to all of the other things, right, where we sort of in a perfect world, Dark doesn't die to the bomb. We support the blade. We have trance for when they nano in, and then we're good. We win. But you know, all of those things didn't go that way. So I think what we talked about then were the contingencies. Okay. So obviously we lose this.
I got monkey. I got monkey. Never mind, I didn't get monkey. Ana's one, Ana's dead.
My face.
What's the Discord? Oh, it's from like.
Rain chaser. Go point.
That's just unlucky.
Yeah, we had no plan.
Right.
Actually, so unlucky.
I would have
It's
changed
unlucky.
nothing on the way we took that engagement.
Unlucky.
What's that?
I would have changed nothing on the way we took that engagement.
I
just
would have
unlucky.
changed nothing. I played that perfectly.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you guys did do that pretty well. I think you made good calls, Aves, to set people up. And I think the only real issue is just sort of the specifics. So like the issue is we didn't plan around their ult still. And so our end was set, but we didn't then put in what are they gonna do for sure, right? They had Nano Blade, we know that's gonna happen. We also know they have Diva Bomb. And so then remember, you think about what's the best place to be using that. You know, it's like probably as we cross over into blue boxes. Because I think it's like if the Diva waits for us to drop, then we just drop on them. That also keeps us from getting bombed, right? Or actually, no, wait a second. No. We just blade and kill the bombing Diva, and then people can just take cover. So I think that's why Diva can't wait, because we win the fight literally before the bomb goes off. So she has to use it up here somewhere. And the other purpose that serves is forcing you guys onto low ground, right? So I think we can be reasonably sure that she does send it here for that reason. And like, remember, Abe, so that's how you want to be trying to get an idea of how they're going to use their ults. Think about the best place, or conversely, think about the worst. The worst place would be to bomb you guys, and then assume they do that. But yeah, I think in a perfect world also we plan around those ults, and I think that kind of keeps a lot of this from happening. 'Cause like, remember, like I said, good teams put you in positions to make mistakes, and it's like, well, I mean, obviously we made a mistake of not incorporating what they had into our plan, but like also, they just kind of sent a bomb up there that would force you guys into a weird place. And like they just gave us the opportunity to kill ourselves kind of, which we did. So yeah, I think these were really good opponents. I think actually we might even do a VOD review next week and still look at more of the match against these guys. Because they just did a lot of stuff super well, I think. And I think like we can learn just as much by watching them as we can from watching our side too. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts on the scrim or stuff we talked about tonight?
Not really.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good, sir.
Unlucky.
Actually,
Lucky.
so unlucky.
Actually, so unlucky. Um, okay, so then yeah, let's call it for the night. And tomorrow we scrim. I'm trying to start conversations with all the tryouts. We'll see if they have responded to my friend requests. If so,
Oh yeah.
I will contact them and try and get one of them to scrim with us tomorrow. But
How
I'll keep you
many
guys
do we
posted.
have now?
3?
Woo!
Bugoo, my posting has worked.
Well, one of them was from mine, but
Oh.
Ha. He still
Hey,
gets
two
one.
of them are
still got
from
the
yours.
majority.
Get fucked, dude.
I got the majority.
You fucked on that 1 out of 3. But yeah, so one of them gave me a Discord that didn't go anywhere, so I'm trying to add him on BNet and see if
What was the name?
let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I did not. I think it is Pony Boy Carson.
Look, in-game calls you. Pony Boy Carson, I need DM.
Hey, Pony Boy.
Pony Boy Carson.
And if he asks you to do something that you can't do, you get to say nay.
I'm just gonna call him Diva.
There's this Discord too.
I'm just gonna call him Diva.
Thank you. Okay, so I think it was just that he didn't put it in caps. I should have tried that, I guess. Okay, so then I will keep you guys posted, and that's it. Do you guys have anything that you needed to bring up to the team, or that we just need to know?
3700. Here we come.
You were not joking.
I like playing Ana, so
Mm,
What the fuck?
yeah.
good point.
You guys know what Banggood is? That website.
Oh,
Banggood?
I might be meeting Sleepy next weekend.
Why?
Pog.
You just made
He's
a
going-
date with them.
No, he's going to DC.
Oh, Pog.
Why?
And
He's
you
doing
have
the
a
Justice
plan to
meetup?
meet him.
Oh, they're doing an event thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, he didn't just have like a messaging, you
Dude, I
know.
wish.
Let's go meet up.
I mean, are you in the
Fine.
OW? You could send him a message directly if you really wanted to.
I'm in his Discord. I've had DM chats with him before.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. I know
So
Sleepy.
cool.
Oh my god,
It's
Say, dude, remember that
actually
one time I messaged you on Discord?
It's almost like
He's
I've
like,
been
yeah, dude, I
subscribed-
remember every message.
Dude, it's almost like that time I subscribed to him for 15 months, dude. Oh my god.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think it's time to queue.
Yeah, but
I
yeah.
agree.
So then, have a good night, guys. Good luck in your comp matches, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright.
Bye, Tootie. I love
Wait,
you.
I love you too.
Watch
What?
the video I posted. That's chin right now.
What am I looking at?
The video.
Where?
Up in general.
Team General?
So I shot the fucking dog.
All right, motherfucker. So a
Where
couple
did I
weeks ago, I
swear I
shot
just
the
heard I
fucking
got
dog
the
that lives
message?
across the
Or
way.
am I hearing? Or did
Little
it mute the
barking ass
server?
motherfucker was on top of the goddamn balcony. He wouldn't shut the fuck
That's
up.
what Shin couldn't be.
You feel me? And I had to drop my nigga. I had to put him the fuck down. You feel me?
Sad.
He's holding a rifle. That's like a rifle butt on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like it really happened.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you see any other video from this man, you'll know it didn't.
It was not real?
He's the same guy that said, I beat the fuck out of my dick.
Oh,
My
yes.
right
Hey, what's
leg.
up, Twitter? It's
My
your boy,
fucking
Eat That
right-
Pussy 445. And 40 to 25 minutes ago, I beat the fuck out of my dick so goddamn hard. My left leg is numb. I cannot feel my left leg.
Oh my
It goes
god.
something like that.
I could see Fanta like that actually happening to Fanta.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Um,
before this gets any
what?
weirder.
No, like it's the video. Like it's the video and it's Phantasma just sitting there doing that.
Okay.
Okay, alright. Well, have a good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, toots.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I'm ending it for now. Be back later probably. But I will see you guys soon. And take care. Have a good night.